Morning, morning. It's August 1st, 2025. And in Kansas City, it is 63 degrees outside. Now, some people may say, oh, Bob, that's great. That's not. That's too cold. It's too cold too early. Hey, stop. Okay. Moose, stop. Just relax, buddy. Okay. I love you. Enzo. Got these dogs here, man. One is really jealous of the other one. You're scaring the people, buddy. You're scaring the people. All right, I'll get you guys in a second. Just let me get this. Jesus. So yeah, man, I'm still kind of tired, man. Um, couldn't come up really last night. Oh, dinner with my lady. I just got tired early, man. The older you get, man, you just don't have the same energy, man. You just don't. You know, when I was young, man. Now it's just different. It's just different. Last night I did catch little glimpses of what was going on, and um, there was a little dust up about the usage of the N word, and then I think what I observed is typical gender politics, uh, to a degree. To a degree. Look, if someone tries that shit with me, calls me the N word, it is going to be difficult for me not to say something back. Okay. And usually just a little polite, hey, don't use that word around me, or don't, that's all there is. But there doesn't need to be a massive upheaval and a war and, getting people arrested and fired and all that stuff. You know, um, now I'm talking about white folks and all that. Yeah, I'm not talking about other people saying. And technically, they should be able to say the word just like black people have. Technically, you know, it is just a word, and we give power to the word depending upon our own feelings. But my goodness, to make a big hullabaloo about it, I think is unnecessary. And I realize this, and Jordan Peterson said this, and it's been said by observers of culture, but to women, words are violence. You know, as well as physical violence, words are violence. That's also true for very weak men. And what do they want to do? They want to regulate violence, so you regulate words. Women don't really have the power to enforce it the way men do, so they use the shame tactics. Yeah, that's how women are able to insert themselves in the making of laws and the making of many things is by shame, insult, guilt. And last night one of the ladies was saying, I'm not mad at the white guy using it. I'm mad at the fact that you guys aren't stopping him. Well, first of all, it's an online thing. You can't really stop them. You can throw them off the panel, but even still, it's that you need to assert authority based upon values that I believe to be correct. And it's like, well, but since you have no authority, why should anyone listen to you? In the court system, they have something called standing. It's like, who brought you to the party? How did you get invited here? Who are you to say what should and shouldn't be? And that's something that men really have to watch out for, is that when you allow women into female spaces, they're naturally going to bring their paradigm of the world to them. And if you allow it to flourish, you're going to have an organization that is not going to really have direction. It's going to break down. And it will end up a lot of cliques and backstabbing and infighting and things of that nature. You know, see, you really got to watch that, man. You really got to watch that. I don't like people telling me what I can and can't laugh at. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the left, because the left is always telling me what is funny and what's not. I mean, who are you to tell me how I get my dopamine rush? Organic dopamine rush, not that crap that you know. Uh, well, I guess most of you people on here smoke. You guys smoke a lot of drugs, man. You guys use weed like it's candy. What is it about weed that makes you guys just? I mean, I get the idea of drugs. I mean, I had a little drug problem myself, albeit with sleeping pills. But I get wanting to go into another world, but to smoke it and then getting your clothes and all that stuff, then it starts to stink. I mean, isn't there marijuana breath? And hey, I'm all for medicinal uses. Boy, I tell you, the English language can make up all kinds of words, man. The English language can make up anything. English language is the greatest invention ever. Loki, it is the greatest invention ever. In fact, I'd rather talk about the English language than drugs. People say, what's the greatest invention? It really is English. Because only English has the power. I mean, there's so many damn words. Only English has the power to really like get into the nooks and cranny of different things. English allows for specialization in ways that other languages don't. Shout out to English. And I've thought about this too. I think being a polyglot would be cool to know a bunch of languages, but like to other people, when they hear English and they don't speak English, it probably sounds funny to them. Like, what the hell are they talking about? But to me, English is the natural way of speaking. And of course, that's because I speak English. But when I hear other language, like ping bong gong gong, or so, or hum to the, or you do. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? But English is the only language that sounds, you know, natural. And I don't think you can have a society built as great as America without the English language. I think if we spoke any other type of language, we would not be as far as we are now. It just wouldn't happen, man. All of aviation is in English. All the aviation communications are in English. It has to be, the people have to at least understand English and communicate in English. Now, in people's own countries, you fly down to Mexico, they speak Mexican. Um, in Europe, they speak English pretty good, on the radios, but, a German controller will speak German to a German air carrier, a Spanish controller will speak Spanish to a Spanish air carrier, so forth and so on. But everyone has to understand. I think it was it 90% of the internet is in English. I can't imagine speaking another language. And why should I? Aloofness is a natural byproduct of being number one. It's when you're aloof and you're stupid. It's when you're aloof and you're broke. It's if you're aloof and you're down the wrong. That's where aloofness becomes scary. But when you're number one, you have the power to be aloof. And to wrap it around back to race, I think that's some of the frustration that blacks feel and minorities feel when it comes to white people is that there's a sense of aloofness. Now, a lot of black people don't have the language dynamics that I do to say that. The best they can do is privilege, but it's really not a privilege as in I'm asserting privilege. It is, I just don't know any better. uh, You know, and if you don't know, you just don't know. You can't tell me though that there are people. You cannot tell me that there are white people who have it better than me simply because they're white. And to listen to people just complain about the N word or all kinds of racial, and you're living in the greatest. I mean, yes, under the microscope, there are some things that maybe need to be adjusted, but you do realize, you're arguing over, uh, well done or medium well, while the rest of the world is starving. You do realize that, all right? That's why it's funny to me when I see, like, in I think it's Germany, they have, or the Netherlands, they have something called Black Pete. It looks like a guy who's like in full on blackface, when in reality he's a guy that goes down a chimney. I mean, but you have Americans who are Black Americans who are like, well, they need to change. You need to. They're in fucking Germany. You want to talk about privilege? You're going to tell a bunch of Germans or Scandinavian people how to run their culture? I'd be like, fuck, gosh. It just goes to show human beings really don't. Human beings are such a, you know, the Bible only existed because somebody screwed up. If Adam didn't screw up, you wouldn't need the Bible. So this is an instruction manual on how to get back on track as best you can. It really is. The Bible, the more I read it, the more I learn about it, the more I understand it. It's just right, man. Human beings are really, 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 really at its core screwed up. Even the good ones are bad. And I say this having knowing that I'm a human being myself. I'm not exempt from this because I'm Bob. But human beings are just, I mean, we can do some amazingly good things, but for the most part, we're a bunch of lazy asses that just want to drink, fucking not work. You know, and there is joy, there is fulfillment in work and labor and all that. But you know something? If that were the case, then why aren't more people doing it? Because in reality, man, if you had the option of sit around, drink, screw, and eat and sleep like a dog, most of us would. I would. Now, I enjoy flying because I enjoy it. I mean, it's part of the very fiber of my being. And luckily, there's an industry that's dedicated towards paying people like me to enjoy my dream. But if you were going to pay me a certain amount of money just to sit around all day and not do anything, well, I mean, what would be the incentive not to do that? Morals and values?
That's a tough one. I'd like to think that I would deny it, but I know me, man. I know when I get tired, I don't want to do anything else. I know when I get hungry, I don't want to do anything else. I know if you put a warm bed underneath me, I'm gonna want to sleep on it. Why would I? Why would I get out of bed to go work if I had the option not to? Why would I do that? And the only time you begin to do something is when you get so drunk off your luxury that it's like, man, I need to sober up. And sobering up for the person that for the average person would be going to work, you know? Like, okay, man, all right. I cannot physically lie in this bed anymore because, I'm getting bed sores. But you know what happens? Let me tell you what happens. You get up, you go outside, you walk maybe, I don't know, 30 feet, and you're like, damn, this is too tired. Screw that. And you go right back to where you were before. If human beings were naturally going to exercise, we wouldn't need a industry to tell us we should exercise. There's seven princes of hell in general Catholic. Well, it's kind of more Christian mysticism. Mysticism. There's seven sins, if you were. But I think my sin would be sloth. I think most people's secret sin would be sloth. You know, unwillingness to do anything. I mean, even with like lust is still an activity that you gotta. Lust is still something that you gotta. Greed is something. Those are sins you still have to work towards. All right, but sloth is interesting because it's just kind of a state of being, excessive state of being, and that would be, yeah. I can see that, man. Do I want a bed? Do I want more money, or do I want more sex? Well, the answer to me is I want a bed. Would I rather sleep, eat, screw, get mad at somebody else for having more shit? What are the other sins? Um, envy, greed, lust. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, man. Sloth is the easiest deadly sin, in my opinion, because it requires absolutely nothing of you. Absolutely nothing. Not like, share, or subscribe. Cash apps are always welcome. It's interesting here that 84 has not come up to bother me. Um, Usually he comes up. Now, he used to come up and just do like maintenance in the back, which is nice. He would highlight things and he'd, fix the pipes and, he'd mow the lawn, he'd do the windows and all that. But lately he comes on up and just comes into the office while I'm trying to, discuss something. It's like, damn, man, you know, he'll probably be up here. But yeah, it's funny. Like right now, I'm doing this thing from bed. That's why I don't have my face up. All right. This little planet thing here, it keeps talking. This gray Neptune keeps talking. It's amazing. I have this phone in my hand. I'm in my bed. I got my dogs in my bed with me. I don't care what anyone says. Dogs belong in the bed. And I'm sitting here talking to you guys. And I'm really not doing anything other than just talking. Now, if I could do this and make money off it, loads and loads of money, what would be the damn point of even getting out of bed other than to spend that money, which I can do through this phone? Guess what? While not getting out of bed. Yeah, it was like, man, I think it was like 15 years ago, like in 2010, this guy like didn't leave his house for a year. All purpose to show that you really don't need to leave your house for anything. Now it was 2010, we didn't have social media like we do now, but it was big enough, and the internet was functioning and strong in 2010. He had like a doctor's come over. He had like, I mean, anything he needed, dentist, anything he needed, he just had it delivered. Right? People come over. Didn't leave his house. That's in 2010. Maybe the future is, I don't know, man. Maybe the future is like less workspaces and more just staying at home. You throw in virtual reality where you can put something on your head. I mean, a lot of us live on this YouTube thing. Maybe in the future, virtual reality will be people live where you literally just people rent like a 300 square foot apartment. You just stay in your apartment all day and live through your goggles. I don't know. Meeting someone online will be seen as ancient. You met someone online, you had to get on the internet and type and do all that. I just put this, Grandpa, I just put this headset on, and I've met my girlfriend who I've never really seen in life. you know, uh, I've done this, I've done that. I've gone on vacation, I've worked, all while putting this thing on my head. It's kind of dismal now when I think about it. Every generation will say this is the greatest generation. Well, I will say this, man. I do think that from my time period, I was born in the mid 70s till now, the explosion in technology, what I have seen is just unbelievable. So I'd like to think it's probably the greatest, but it's starting to speed up. And what took 30 years to do, in the future maybe take 10 years, and then it'll take 1 year, and then it'll take a couple months. So I would suspect, my nephew who was born in '06, what he will see is well beyond what I'll see. I mean, he's kind of already seeing it now. In 2006, we didn't even have the iPhone. I mean, in 2001, when 9/11 happened, man, people were still trying. I mean, you went on the internet. You had the internet. You had Wi-Fi in 2001, but it wasn't like it is now, man. There really was no social media in 2001. Not really. There was, you know, AOL was dying. We didn't have MySpace in 2001. If you wanted to get on the internet, you had to go to a computer. And then it just all of a sudden exploded. We did have direct deposit. We did have automatic pay. I remember my dad every Sunday. No, excuse me. Every 2 weeks, he would lay out the ironing board on Sunday and lay out all his bills. And Dad did it. Dad paid his bills while using the ironing board. It was kind of interesting. Come on, come on. These guys gotta go to the bathroom. Hey, hey, hey! Stop. All right, I'm trying to make some money here for us, guys. Jesus. Well, I guess that's the end of the morning show right here. My dog Moose is throwing up a fit, and he excites my other dog Enzo. Hey, 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 Moose, Moose. Can't get these kids nowadays, man. All right, well, that's all I got. 84. If you want to come up and take over for a little while, you know, that's fine. Like, share, subscribe. 84. You got 30 seconds before I got because these guys they're about to throw. It's about to be a civil war. the Daily Civil War. So if you want to come up and host a show, take over my monologue, um, you have uh, probably 26 seconds. Just everyone chill for a sec, man.
Hey, you gonna talk shit while I'm not up here?
All right, sir. I invited you up here because I was going to turn it off. I figured maybe you wanted to continue it. I was trying to
Yeah,
help you out,
I
sir.
wish I could, man. I ain't gonna lie, but they gotta want me to do this shit so I can quit this shit what I'm doing throughout the day.
I got you.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Only reason why you know what I'm saying, if the guy wasn't there, I would have been on it until he got there and I would have ended. But yeah, they already trying to fire me because of the podcast.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I am, honestly. Um, no, I am. We need to talk about that. But I got an industry. These dogs are looking at me. You want me
Yeah,
to
I
just
know.
end it?
Take the dogs out. They always talking about me. You know what I'm saying? Take the dogs out. Tell y'all. Why don't y'all tell him to take the dogs out when they bark? Y'all always tell me to feed my dogs and take them out. Shit.
Okay. Now, does that mean you want to end it, or do you want me to end it?
Go ahead and I just wanted to tell you not to talk shit to me. You know what I mean? Don't talk shit. Don't talk shit. Make me come up here. I come find you.
Okay.
All right, man. But I'll see y'all later, man. I'll probably, if I get home early, I'm gonna start early. Fuck that.
All right. Do your thing.
All right.
Holla.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. See y'all later.
All right. Well, wait. Don't start too early, man.
I'm not gonna start too early. It's gonna be probably like 6:30. Same
Okay.
time.
Yeah.
It's same time all the time. I might start like 30 minutes early. Last night I was trying to stay up, man, but my head was hurt, man. I couldn't do it. I ain't gonna lie.
Make it 6:30, man. Make it 6:30. Okay.
Nah, we gonna do it 5:30.
No, I can't be a part of that.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I gotta talk to you about some shit too. So you know what I'm saying?
All
We
right.
probably see eye to eye on some shit. But all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll see y'all later 6:30, like always. I'm a
All
Mexican on
right.
time.
All right, brother.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Jesus God. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's 84. Probably in his El Camino. Uh, listen to Allende Rancho Grande or something. Gimpy, it's good to see you. Bill, always a pleasure. Cash Kid, Distant. Let's see, who else? Y, Brian, Draws, all you guys, man. Thanks for coming up. We'll see you later.